Good morning everyone, and welcome to the practice session. Green flag is out and we are underway here. Jimmy Lindo is out on track, getting a feel for the circuit on his out lap. Aidan McKenna now making his way out of the pit lane, joined Practice session is well underway here, 55 minutes and 52 seconds on the clock, and we're still waiting for Aidan McKenna to set his first competitive lap time. Practice session continues, 54 minutes and 42 seconds remaining. Aidan McKenna is currently in the Roma section, yet to set a timed lap.
The Roma section is always a test in practice, finding that early rhythm through the S's is key before you really push.
Good morning everyone and welcome to the practice session, which has just begun, with just under 119 minutes left on the clock.
This early phase is all about getting a feel for the car and the track, making sure all systems are a go before you really start pushing.
Nigel Walters is out on track, but we're still waiting for him to register his first lap time of the session.
He'll be doing some systems checks, getting the tires up to temperature. It's all part of the process before you really start pushing.
Greg Sabo is also on track, patiently working his way through his early session checks, yet to post a time. Jimmy Lindo is making his way through the Curve 1 section, still looking to put a time on the board.
Curve 1 is a critical corner, really fast. You want to get your line perfect through there even on these early laps to build confidence.
Still no time on the board for Greg Sabo as the session continues. Jimmy Lindo is now navigating the SE section, still building up to his first time lap.
The SE section is all about rhythm, getting the car to flow from one turn to the next. It takes a few laps to really get into that groove.
Greg Sabo is currently in the Semaforo section, preparing to put his first official lap time on the board. Neil Constable Barry is out on track as well, yet to post a lap time in this practice session. Jimmy Lindo continues his run, still waiting for that first registered lap time to appear. Greg Sabo is still circulating, without a registered lap time yet in this practice session.
It's all about building confidence, making sure the car feels right. Sometimes you do 2 or 3 out laps before you commit to a hot lap, just to get everything perfect.
And there it is. Jimmy Lindo sets the first proper lap time of the session, a 1:33.478, putting him straight to the top of the leaderboard. Maximilian Turbin now joins the action, currently navigating the Torrentino section, looking for his first time lap. Nigel Walters registers his first time, a 1:34.276, slotting him into second place, just behind Lindo. Neil Constable Barry is on the board now with a 1:35.912, good enough for third position at this early stage.
He's still in the SE section, meaning that time was just posted. He'll be looking to build on that as he gets more comfortable.
Still no timed lap for Maximilian Turbin as he continues his run.
He's taking his time, making sure everything is right. No point in pushing too early and making a mistake in practice.
Dominic Fovarg is out on track, currently working his way through the SE section, yet to post a time. Greg Sabo is still circulating, without a registered lap time yet in this practice session. Jimmy Lindo, currently in the Roma section, holds on to second place with his 1:33.478 lap.
He's been pushed down a spot, which shows how quickly things can change in practice as more drivers get up to speed. Roma is a nice flowing part of the track.
Dominic Fovard remains on track, still waiting for his first-time lap to come in. Lindo improves his time to a 1:33.311, but stays in second place, showing the pace at the front is heating up. Neil Constable Barry shaves a bit off his time, now a 1:34.638, but drops to fourth as others find pace. Nigel Walters improves significantly, a 1:33.016, placing him firmly in second position. Now we see Jareth Hallam entering the fray, currently navigating the challenging Cimini section.
Cimini is a high-speed double apex, you have to be precise with your turn in. It's a real test of car balance.
Maximilian Turbin now registers a time, a 1:33.208, immediately placing him in a strong third position. Jimmy Lindo goes quickest, a 1:32.982, that's the fastest lap of the session so far and puts him back into the lead.
That's a very quick lap. He's found some real pace there, probably found a bit more grip as the track rubbers in.
Greg Sabo finally posts a time, a 1:37.107, putting him into sixth position for now. Jimmy Lindo holds onto the top spot, his 132.982 still leading the field.
He's looking very comfortable out there. That consistency suggests he's really dialed into the car and the circuit today.
Dominic Fauvard posts his first competitive time, a 135.346, which places him into 5th position.
He's in the curve 1, a tricky place to be straight after posting a time. It's good to see him on the board, he'll be looking to improve now.
Lindo continues to lead the way with his 132.982, setting the benchmark for everyone else. Dominic Fauvard remains in 5th place with his 135.346 as the session progresses.
He'll be analyzing that lap, looking for areas to gain time. Sometimes it's just a tiny adjustment on the brake pedal or the steering input that makes all the difference.
Neil Constable Barry improves his time to a 134.419, holding on to 4th position in the Curve 1. Lindo has been pushed down to 2nd, his 132.982 now good for the runner-up spot. Nigel Walters rockets to the top. A fantastic 132.568 puts him into the lead. He's in the Trincia.
That's a strong lap from Walters. Trincia is where you carry a lot of speed, showing he's confident in the car's stability.
Jareth Hallam now posts a competitive lap, a 133.636, good enough for 4th place.
He's made a solid start to his session. 4th is a good spot to build from, especially in early practice.
Nigel Walters, currently in the Curve 1, is now 2nd with his 132.568. Jareth Hallam, in the Cimini section, holds on to 4th with his 133.636.
He's still working on that rhythm through Cimini. Once you nail that, the lap times really start to tumble.
Jamie Price now takes to the track, currently in the demanding Cimini section, yet to set a time.
This is an important out lap for Jamie, getting heat into the tires and brakes before trying to put a time in.
Neil Constable Barry slips to 6th place, his 134.419 now a bit further down the order. Jamie Price is now in the Roma section, still looking to set his first official lap time. Aidan McKenna joins the session, but we're still awaiting his first recorded lap time. Rich Snape is out there too, currently in the Cimini section, as he starts his practice session. Greg Sabo improves his time to a 136.112, but still sits in 9th position.
He's finding a bit more pace, which is good to see. These early laps are all about chipping away at the time.
Still no time lap from Rich Snape, who continues his run in this practice session. Chris Stokes posts a very respectable 133.277, immediately placing him in 4th position, currently in the SE section. Jamie Price registers his first time, a 136.436, which puts him into 11th place. David Constable Barry is still waiting to put a lap on the board as he navigates the Curve 1, just over 20 minutes remaining in this practice session.
McKenna still hasn't logged a time yet, which is unusual this late into practice. Maybe they're trying something radical with the setup.
James Allen is in the Roma section, yet to register a lap time with just under 20 minutes remaining.
Another driver yet to show their hand is Neil Constable Barry, still no lap time on the board with just over 19 minutes left. That's a long time to wait for a first run unless there's a specific test plan.
Jimmy Lindo also without a registered lap time as we tick past the 18.5 minute mark.
Maximilian Turbin is in the SE section, still no time on the screens for him. I remember having to make setup changes right up until the final moments of practice. Sometimes it's just about getting that one crucial run in.
Martin Mole with a 133.167, currently P2, making his way through the Curve 1.
That's a strong early showing from Mole. The Curve 1 is a real commitment corner, flat out in many cars, and getting it right is crucial for lap time.
Rich Snape is in the Semaforo section, no time on the board yet with under 17 minutes to go.
Fovarg still waiting to put in a flying lap. Could be an engine mapping test, or just getting a feel for a new brake balance.
Adam Tiaz posts a 134.445, putting him 9th on the leaderboard with just under 16 minutes left.
P9 is a decent start for Tiaz, but I'd expect him to find a few more tenths as the session progresses. It's all about building confidence at this stage.
Josh Mitchell is another driver we're yet to see a lap time from, just over 14.5 minutes left on the clock.
Boontakis is also holding back, perhaps waiting for the track to rubber in a bit more, which can definitely make a difference to grip levels.
Jamie Price logs a 136.643, putting him P12 for now as he sweeps through the curve 1.
That's a solid marker from Price. The curve 1 is tricky, easy to lose time if you're not precise with your turn-in and throttle application.
John Boontakis is in the Semaforo section, still no lap time for him with just over 13 minutes remaining. Josh Mitchell finally on the board with a 136.425, placing him P12, currently navigating the Semaforo.
Good to see Mitchell get a time down. Semaforo is a key braking zone, getting that right sets you up well for the next sequence.
Adam T is holding steady in P10 with his 134.445, 12 minutes left in practice.
Rich Snape now on the timing screens, a 133.840, good enough for P7. He's in the Roma section now, a fast-flowing part of the track that demands confidence.
Greg Sabo is another name still waiting to make an appearance on the timing screens, just over 11 minutes remaining.
T is still P10, making his way through the Semaforo. He'll be looking to improve that time on his next run for sure.
And Jimmy Lindo shoots straight to the top of the leaderboard, a 132.842, now P1.
James Allen on the board with a 133.898, placing him P9. He's in the Cimini section, which is a fast, sweeping double right-hander that really tests the car's balance.
Martin Mull currently P3 with his 133.167, now in the Semaforo section of the track. John Boontakas posts a 133.528, good enough for 7th position.
That's a strong first effort from Boontakas, straight into the top 10. It shows they've got a decent baseline setup.
Mac McFarquhar in the Semaforo section, still no time on the board with less than 8 minutes left.
Daniel Kochish gets a 134.578 down, putting him P12. He'll be looking to shave off a few tenths from that in these final minutes.
Jimmy Lindo still holding on to P1 with that 132.842, now in the Cimini section.
Lindo's looking comfortable out there. Cimini is fast and requires precision. If you can nail that, it bodes well for the rest of your lap.
Mac McFarquhar finally gets a lap time in, a 134.973, placing him P16. He's in the Semaforo now.
It's good to see McFarquhar on the timesheets. Even a late run can give crucial data, especially with breaking points through Semaforo.
James Allen improves his time to a 133.068, jumping up to 3rd position.
That's a strong improvement from Allen, a really good jump up the order. He's clearly found some pace and pushed that car.
Daniel Kochish currently P13 with his 134.578, making his way through the Cimini. Tim Weller with a 133.315, that puts him P7 as he rounds the Semaforo.
Weller's looking good. The Semaforo leads onto a strong acceleration zone, so a good exit there really helps the lap time.
Dominic Fauvargue posts a 135.187, putting him P17. He's in the Torrentino section.
Torrentino is a very tight corner, easy to lose the rear if you're too aggressive on the throttle. For Fauvargue, P17 isn't where he'll want to be, but it's a baseline.
John Boontakis remains P11 with his 133.528, currently in the Cimini section as the clock winds down.
Josh Daw is running out of time to set a lap, still no time on the board with just over 3 minutes left.
Joel Lemerick registers a 135.044, placing him P18, currently in the Roma section.
Chris Stokes is cutting it very fine, still no lap time from him with just over 2 minutes remaining. Every second counts now.
Jimmy Lindo improves his best time even further. A 132.451 sees him consolidate P1.
That's a fantastic improvement from Lindo. When you find that much time in the final moments of practice, it shows confidence and a car that's working well.
Josh Mitchell improves to a 134.597, moving up to P17, just over a minute left on the clock. Joel Lemerick holds P20 with his 135.044 in the Curve 1 as the session ticks down to its final 36 seconds. Chris Stokes finally gets a time in right at the death, a 133.855, putting him P14.
What a last gasp effort from Stokes. To pull a time like that out of the bag with literally seconds left is impressive. It shows mental strength to perform under pressure.
Nigel Walters now up to P2 with a 132.877, navigating the Roma section as the session nears its end.
That's a fantastic late charge from Walters, right into the sharp end of the grid. Roma is flat out in places, and carrying that speed is key to a good lap.
Joel Lemerick's 135.044 keeps him P20 with just 44 seconds left.
He's really at the back of the pack right now. With such little time left, it will be difficult to make a significant jump up the order.
Daniel Kocic improves his time to a 133.558, moving him up to P12 with just over a minute left.
That's a good step forward for Kocic. Finding that extra pace late in the session can really boost confidence for qualifying.
Welcome back to Vallelunga for the classic OSRW qualifying session. Wind speed is 6 out there and conditions look challenging. Constable Barry yet to post a time as the clock ticks down, just under 4.5 minutes left in this crucial qualifying session. Chris Stokes is still out there, yet to set a lap time as he navigates the Cimini section with just over 4 minutes remaining.
This early pressure is immense. You want to get that banker lap in, but pushing too hard on cold tires can easily send you off.
Greg Sabo is making his way through Semaforo, still no lap time posted as we approach the 3.5 minute mark. Jody Fannin is still out there, yet to register a time with just over 3 minutes left on the clock.
This is where the pressure really builds. You've got to find clear track and nail that lap, no room for error now.
And Jody Fannin crosses the line. A 1:32.288, that puts him straight into provisional pole position with just over a minute and a half remaining.
That's a fantastic first lap time under pressure. Getting that benchmark set early is crucial. It gives you a target to beat or defend.
Josh Daw is still searching for a clear lap, no time on the board yet with less than 90 seconds remaining in qualifying. Daniel Kochish currently P5 with a 1:33.487, and he's on a flyer. 0.19 seconds up on that time as he pushes with just over a minute left.
That's the feeling you want in qualifying, knowing you're finding time. He needs to keep it clean through these last few corners to make it count.
Chris Stokes is looking strong, P5 currently, and he's 0.1 seconds up through Trincia on his current best time, with less than a minute left in qualifying. Daniel Kochish now P6, but he's flying, 0.35 seconds quicker than his best lap right now with only 20 seconds left. This could be a big one.
This is it, everything on the line. You've got to carry that momentum through the final sectors and just hope for a clean run.
Jamie Price currently P18, 0.15 seconds up on his best time through Roma, but there are only 3 seconds left on the clock.
These final moments are absolutely brutal. You're pushing to the absolute limit, knowing this could be your last chance to improve.
Phil Bodkin is still out there, yet to post a time as he enters the Roma section, just 21 seconds remaining to make his mark. Mac McFarquhar is P9 with a 1:33.789, but he's looking to improve, 0.25 seconds faster through Roma as time quickly runs out. Tim Weller is in 14th, running 0.29 seconds up on his best lap and looking to gain positions with just 45 seconds remaining. Dominic Fovard currently P18, but he's on a charge, 0.65 seconds up on his best lap and absolutely flying as we near the end of the session. Chris Stokes in P8, on an absolute mission, 0.26 seconds up on his best through the SE as he pushes for a higher grid slot with just over a minute left. Chris Stokes improves, a 1:32.956, that jumps him up to P4. Excellent lap with time still on the board. Greg Sabo in P19, currently 0.26 seconds up on his best time. He's really digging deep with just under a minute and a half to go.
This is a make or break moment for him. Finding those tenths when it matters most is what separates the front runners from the rest.
Welcome to Vallelunga for the classic OSRW. The wind is a breezy 5 knots as we await the start. Jimmy Lindo, a Pro-Am driver for not known, starts from pole position in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
Lining up alongside Lindo, it's Jody Fannin, another not known driver in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, a pro looking to make a statement. Nigel Walters, the AM-class driver for the United Kingdom, starts from third in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. He'll be hoping for a clean start.
Next up, it's Chris Stokes from England, a pro-class competitor, starting from fourth in another TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. Martin Mol from the Netherlands, a pro driver, starts from fifth in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
Fifth can be a tricky spot on the grid. You're in the mix but also exposed. I've been there and you need to be decisive into that first corner.
Daniel Kosic of Hungary, a Pro-Am driver, is in 6th position in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
P6 means you're right in the slipstream of those ahead. A good run off the line could see him pick up a couple of places very quickly.
David Constable Barry from England, also Pro-Am, starts from 7th in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
AM class driver Rich Snape, representing the United Kingdom, is in P8. He'll be focused on his class rivals.
James Allen from the United Kingdom, a Pro-Am driver, starts from 9th in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
From P9, you're looking for any gaps. Sometimes starting a little further back can keep you out of the first corner chaos. I've had some good results starting from the middle of the pack.
John Boontakis, representing Greece and an AM class driver, completes the top 10 on the grid in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
10th is a solid qualifying spot for an AM driver. Consistency will be key for him, especially in the opening laps. You need to keep calm and pick your moments.
Jareth Hallam from the United Kingdom, Pro-Am, starts from 12th.
Adam Tias, an AM class driver from England, lines up in 13th position. He'll be looking to make up ground.
Dominic Fovarg, a Pro-Am driver from the United Kingdom, is in P14.
Mid-pack like this, you have to be really aware of what's happening around you. It's easy to get caught in someone else's mistake. I've had races ruined from the outside of a corner because of someone else's ambition.
Tim Weller, another AM class driver from the United Kingdom, starts from 15th.
Joel Lemerick, representing the Netherlands, an AM driver, begins his race from 16th. He'll be aiming for a strong run.
Josh Mitchell, from Italy, an AM class driver, lines up in 17th.
Maximilian Turbin, an AM driver from England, starts from 18th. He'll be hoping to climb through the field.
And the lights are out. We are green at Vallelunga. The classic OSRW is underway. Jimmy Lindo holds his lead through the first corner, a perfect start for the pole sitter.
That's what you want to see from pole, a clean break and holding the lead. No surprises for Lindo there, he's done his job.
A great start for Tim Weller, up 3 places already, from 15th to 12th.
Three places on the first lap is fantastic, especially from the midfield. He clearly judged his braking and the throttle perfectly. That takes courage and precision.
Joel Lemerick also making progress, up 2 spots from 16th to 14th.
He's made up positions, but importantly, he's done it cleanly. That's crucial in these opening laps. Avoiding contact can save your race.
A tough start for Josh Mitchell, he's dropped back to 19th position. Joel Lemerick, who was just ahead, is now 15th, with a 2.6 second gap opening up.
We're seeing some shuffles further back in the pack. Losing positions early can be hard to recover from, but there's still plenty of race left. That 2.6 second gap, while not huge, needs to be closed down quickly.
Josh Mitchell continues to lose ground, now down to 21 stone, and the gap to Joel Lemerick, still in 15th, has stretched to a significant 5.9 seconds. Josh Mitchell has dropped to 22nd, but he's got Josh Daw right on his tail, just a tenth of a second behind. His first full lap was a 1:54.694.
That's an incredibly tight battle for those positions. Mitchell needs to break the toe quickly, because a tenth of a second is nothing. That first lap time, given the traffic, isn't terrible, but you'll need to find pace.
John Astrup is in 19th, with Neil Constable Barry breathing down his neck, only 0.1 second separating them. Astrup's first lap was a 1:50.636. Astrup has managed to eke out a bit more breathing room over Constable Barry, the gap now up to 0.8 seconds. Still a close fight, but he's gained a little.
Every tenth counts, and gaining 0.7 seconds in that short time means Astrup has really pushed. You can feel the pressure from behind, and finding that extra pace when someone's on your gearbox is tough, but he's done it.
Daniel Kocic has entered the pits. He's currently in 18th position on lap 2.
That's an early stop for Kocic. Sometimes a gamble, sometimes a necessity. It's either a strategic play, or he might have had some damage or an issue with the car. Pulling in this early can really affect your race strategy.
Neil Constable Barry is in 19th, just 0.3 seconds behind John Astrup. His best lap so far, and his last, was a 1:36.096. The gap between Neil Constable Barry and John Astrup has grown a bit, now 0.9 seconds, with Astrup moving up to 17th.
It looks like Astrup found some clear air, or Constable Barry lost a little momentum. A 0.9 second gap is still within striking distance, but it gives the lead driver a bit more confidence through the corners. It's about finding that rhythm and breaking the toe.
Jareth Hallam is running in 11th, only 0.3 seconds behind Tim Weller in 10th. His last lap was a 1:34.722.
Hallam is really hanging tough with Weller. That gap is staying stubbornly at 0.3 seconds. He's clearly pushing hard and matching Weller's pace. In my experience, when you're this close, it's about waiting for the smallest mistake or a good run out of a corner.
Jody Fannin in 3rd, right on the bumper of Chris Stokes, just 0.2 seconds separating them. Fannin's best lap is a 1:33.119. And look at this, Nigel Walters is also right there in 4th, 0.2 seconds behind Jody Fannin. 3 cars nose to tail for 2nd place.
This is fantastic racing. Walters, an AM driver, is absolutely sticking with the pros. That's a huge effort and he's not giving an inch. Being this close, any tiny lift or wobble from Fannin or Stokes could be an opportunity. This is where races are won or lost.
Maximilian Turbin is in 14th, with a 1.0 second cushion over Adam Tiaz in 15th. Turbin's best lap is a 1:33.623.
That 1 second gap is really important. It means he's out of the slipstream for now, giving him a bit of breathing room. Maintaining that gap, or even extending it, will be his focus for the next few laps.
Rich Snape in 10th, 0.9 seconds behind Mac McFarquhar in 9th. Snape just posted his best lap, a 1:33.265. Greg Sabo is P18, and he's right on the tail of Joel Lemrick in 17th, just a tenth of a second between them. Greg Sabo has moved up to 17th, but Joel Lemrick, still ahead, has stretched that gap slightly to 0.3 seconds.
He's made a position, but that gap growing indicates Lemrick has found a little something extra. When you're in the middle of a fight like that, every fraction of a second gained or lost can make a difference in where you can position your car for the next corner.
John Astrup is 15th, just 0.1 seconds off Adam Tiaz in 14th. Astrup's best lap is a 1:34.022.
The gap has just opened to 0.3 seconds between Astrup and Tiaz. That might not sound like much, but it can be enough to break the slipstream on a straighter section. Astrup will be trying to get that back down.
John Astrup has made the move. He's now into 14th position, pushing Adam Tiaz back to 15th, and he's even opened up a 0.4 second gap. Adam Tiaz is now in 15th, 0.3 seconds behind John Astrup. Tiaz just set his best lap with a 1:35.440.
He's pushing, but Astrup's pace was enough to get past. Tiaz will need to find another gear to get that position back. It's tough when you've just been passed. You need to regroup quickly and focus on your lines.
A big change for Adam Tiaz. He's dropped all the way back to 21st. John Astrup, who was just ahead, is now 14th, and that gap has ballooned to a huge 8.3 seconds.
Wow, that's a serious loss of ground for Tia's. 6 positions in over 8 seconds in such a short time usually indicates a spin, a major off-track excursion, or perhaps a contact. Recovering from that will be a real challenge.
Mac McFarquhar in 9th is absolutely glued to the back of Rich Snape in 8th, a 0.0 second gap between them. McFarquhar's best lap is a 1:32.823.
0.0. That means he is right there, ready to pounce. He's got the slipstream, he's just waiting for the braking zone or a change of direction. That's a huge amount of pressure to apply. I've had to defend like that before, it takes absolute concentration.
Mac McFarquhar has made the move. Rich Snape is now in 9th, 0.2 seconds behind McFarquhar in 8th. Snape's last lap was a 1:33.496, his best a 1:33.030.
That's a classic overtake there. McFarquhar used that slipstream to perfection and made the pass stick. Snape will now be looking to return the favor, but breaking that 0.2 second gap won't be easy. It's tough to lose a position, but the battle for P8 is clearly far from over.
Daniel Kosic is in 14th, with a 0.6 second advantage over Greg Sabo in 15th. Kosic's best lap is a 1:33.707.
Kosic is clawing his way back after that early pit stop. He's showing good pace now, and that 0.6 second buffer gives him a little bit of breathing room. He's clearly pushing hard to recover.
Josh Mitchell is in 19th, just 0.2 seconds behind Jamie Price in 18th. Mitchell's best lap is a 1:34.885. The gap between Mitchell and Price has shrunk even further, now just a 1/10 of a second separating them.
Mitchell is absolutely hounding Price for that position. He's found some real pace and is right on the limit. When you're this close, it's all about making sure you don't overcook it and stay clean.
Josh Daw is in 20th, 0.2 seconds behind Josh Mitchell in 19th. Daw's best lap is a 1:34.909.
This is an excellent fight further down the order. Daw is pushing Mitchell hard, clearly not giving up. It's great to see this level of competition throughout the field, not just at the front. He's got a good rhythm going.
James Allen is in 6th, and he's right in the SE section, just 0.3 seconds behind Martin Mull in 5th. Allen's best lap is a 1:32.918.
The SE section is tricky, you need to be precise. Allen is doing a great job to stay this close to Mull through there. That's a good indicator of confidence and pace. If he can maintain that proximity through the twisty bits, he might have an opportunity on the straighter sections.
David Constable Barry in 7th, running through the curve 1, just 0.2 seconds off James Allen in 6th. His best lap is a 1:32.764. The gap between Constable Barry and Allen has opened slightly to 0.3 seconds. Allen has found a little pace to create some breathing room.
It's always a cat and mouse game when the gaps are this small. Constable Barry might have lost a bit of momentum out of the curve 1, which is a high-speed corner, making that small difference. He'll be trying to get that back on the next lap.
Josh Daw has dropped to 22nd, but he's closing in on Joel Lemrick in 21st, only 0.3 seconds separate them. Daw's best lap remains a 1:34.909.
He's lost positions, but he's not giving up. Chasing down a rival, even for lower positions, is crucial for driver morale and championship points. That 0.3 second gap means he's right there for an attack.
David Constable Barry has closed right back up to James Allen, just 0.1 seconds separate them for 6th position.
This is an incredible fight. He's found that extra pace we talked about. Being this close, you really need to judge your braking and turn in points perfectly. One small mistake from Allen and Constable Barry is through.
The gap has opened up again for James Allen, now 0.3 seconds ahead of David Constable Barry in 7th.
It's so hard to maintain that ultra-close gap lap after lap. Allen must have put in a really strong sector there to create that breathing room. Constable Barry will have to work hard to get back into striking distance again. Sometimes you push too hard and lose time.
Adam Tiaz is in 20th, and he's right on the bumper of Josh Mitchell, just 0.2 seconds separating them for 19th. Tiaz's best lap is a 1:35.113. Adam Tiaz has made a superb move. He's now into 19th position, with Josh Mitchell immediately behind him. The gap currently 0.0 seconds.
What a fantastic pass. To get past and then immediately establish no gap means he's consolidated that position really well. That shows good commitment and car control under pressure. Now he needs to try and break the toe.
Jimmy Lindo is flying, holding a commanding lead. He's just 20 seconds away from the checkered flag, with Jody Fannin 2.4 seconds adrift.
A 2.4 second lead with this little time remaining is almost insurmountable. Lindo has driven a fantastic race, managed his pace, and kept it clean. He's been flawless out there, he's earned this. He'll just be concentrating on hitting his marks and bringing it home now.
Jimmy Lindo crosses the line. From pole position to victory, a dominant performance to win the Classic OSRW at Vallelunga.
Jody Fannin takes a well-deserved second place. A solid drive after starting second, he kept the pressure on throughout.
Chris Stokes finishes in a strong third position. He started fourth and fought his way onto the podium. Rounding out the top 7, we have Nigel Walters in 4th, Martin Mull 5th, James Allen in 6th, and David Constable Barry takes 7th.
Great finishes for all of them, especially Nigel Walters in 4th, an AM driver really mixing it up with the pros. That's a testament to his skill and consistency today. Finishing P4 is a fantastic result.
Mac McFarquhar crosses the line in 8th, Rich Snape takes 9th, Jareth Hallam 10th, and John Boontakas finishes 11th.
These middle pack battles were incredibly fierce throughout the race. Every position gained or lost would have felt like a victory or a defeat. Great driving from all those guys, they never gave up.
John Astrup finishes 12th, Dominic Fovard 13th, Daniel Kosic 14th, and Greg Sabo rounds out the top 15.
Kosic, recovering from that early pit stop, showed great determination to get back to 14th. That's a good drive to salvage points after an early setback.
Neil Constable Barry finishes 16th, Tim Weller 17th, Jamie Price 18th, and Josh Daw crosses the line in 19th. Adam Tiaz comes home 20th, Joel Lemerick 21st, Josh Mitchell 22nd, and Nico Vaughn takes 23rd.
Every driver who finishes this race has achieved something. It takes a lot to keep the car on track and bring it home, especially when you're fighting for every single position right to the very end.
And Phil Bodkin crosses the line for 24th, followed by Aidan McKenna in 25th.
Every car that makes it to the checkered flag is a victory in itself. It's been a tough race out there, hats off to all the drivers for their efforts.
Welcome to Vallelunga for the Classic OSRW, a challenging circuit made even more interesting today by a brisk 6-knot wind. Aidan McKenna, flying the flag for Ireland, starts from pole position today in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
Pole is always a great place to be, but it brings its own pressure. Getting the launch right will be crucial in that Cortina.
Nico Vaughn, another driver in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, lines up in 3rd, ready to challenge for the podium.
Home favorite Josh Mitchell is also in a Cortina, starting from 4th. He'll be hoping to use that local knowledge to his advantage.
Joel Lemerick from the Netherlands completes the top 5, another Cortina in the mix.
It's a strong Cortina contingent at the front. These cars are known for their handling, but power delivery off a line will be key.
Adam Tiaz, representing England, starts in 6th, also in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
That's a lot of Cortinas up front. It's going to be fascinating to see who can make the most of them when the lights go out.
Josh Daw lines up in 7th, yet another TCL Lotus Cortina MKI in the top 10.
This really is a Cortina showdown. It puts the pressure on the drivers to find that extra tenth of a second.
Jamie Price starts from 8th position, adding another TCL Lotus Cortina MKI to this packed grid. Tim Weller, from the United Kingdom, is in 9th, another Cortina driver in the mix.
It's going to be a battle of slipstreams and bravery into turn 1 with so many similar cars.
And Neil Constable Barry, also from the UK, completes the top 10, making it a clean sweep for the TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
Every single car in the top 10 is a Cortina. This is going to be a phenomenal race. The smallest mistake will be punished.
Daniel Kosic from Hungary is in P12, another Pro-Am driver in a Cortina.
Dominic Fovard, in another Cortina, starts from 13th. He'll be looking to make up positions quickly.
John Astrup from New Zealand is down in 14th, a pro-class driver who will be keen to move forward.
John Boontakis, flying the flag for Greece, starts from 15th in his Cortina.
Jareth Hallam from the UK is in 16th, another Pro-Am driver in the field. Rich Snape, also from the UK, starts from 17th position.
Even from further back, with so many similar cars, any opportunity to gain places will be pounced upon.
Mac McFarquhar, a pro-class driver from the UK, is further down the grid in 18th.
He'll have some work to do, but with that pro designation, I expect him to be making some aggressive moves in the early laps.
The lights are out and we are underway at Vallelunga, a fantastic start to this classic OSRW race. Phil Bodkin, who started in 2nd, has dropped a position, now running in 3rd.
That's a tough start for him, losing a place on the opening lap. He'll need to regroup quickly and try to get that position back.
A difficult start for Jareth Hallam, who has fallen from 15th back to 19th in these opening moments. Jareth Hallam has had a tough start, losing 4 places to drop from 15th to 19th.
It's so easy to get caught out in the pack at the beginning of a race. He'll be looking for any opportunity to claw some of those places back.
John Astrup is making incredible progress, leaping from 15th up to 9th already in the first lap. Jareth Hallam has recovered 1 place, now running in 18th after his earlier drop.
It's always good to see a driver fighting back. Regaining even a single position can boost confidence and set the tone for the rest of the race.
Jareth Hallam remains in 18th, now just half a second behind James Allen as he pushes to gain another spot. Now with Dominic Fovard in 14th, just a tenth of a second behind Rich Snape. A real battle for 13th is brewing. Dominic Fovard has gained a position, now in 13th, and has closed the gap to Rich Snape, who is now 2 places ahead. Dominic Fovard continues his charge, up to 11th now. He's made up 2 more positions.
He's flying, but so is Rich Snape, who has also gained places. The gap has edged out slightly, but Fovard is definitely on the move.
Down to 18th, and it's Martin Mole, just a tenth of a second separating him from Chris Stokes in 17th. Martin Mole has lost a position, now in 19th, while Chris Stokes has pulled away slightly, now in 16th.
That's a bit of a setback for Mole. He needs to find some pace to prevent Stokes from disappearing up the road.
Martin Mole has regained a spot, back into 18th, now 0.4 seconds behind Chris Stokes. Now we're focusing on Phil Bodkin in 9th, just a hair's breadth behind Rich Snape. That's a tiny 0.1 second gap.
This is exactly where you want to be as a driver, on the tail of the car in front, looking for a tow and an overtaking opportunity.
Phil Bodkin is now in 7th, having gained 2 places, and is still right on the gearbox of Rich Snape. What a start we've had here at Vallelunga. These Cortinas are certainly putting on a show.
They absolutely are. When you have so many identical cars, it really highlights the driver's skill. Every small input makes a huge difference.
We've seen some big movers already, particularly John Astrup, who just carved through the field on the first lap.
That's a testament to confidence and knowing where to place your car. Those opening laps are a chaotic dance, and you have to be decisive without being reckless.
And equally, some drivers have struggled to hold their ground. The pressure is immense, even for the experienced pros.
The wind can also play a role, especially on corner exit. You can feel it pushing the car, and it demands constant correction, which is draining over a full race distance.
It's fascinating to watch the subtle differences in driving style when the machinery is so similar.
Exactly. It's not about raw power here, it's about tire management, brake control, and finding those tiny slipstream advantages lap after lap. It's proper racing.
We're seeing battles all through the field, not just at the front. Every position counts.
And the gaps are so small. One slight error, one missed apex, and you can lose 2 or 3 places instantly. You have to be absolutely on it.
That's what makes classic racing so special, isn't it? Pure driving talent shining through.
Absolutely. There's nowhere to hide in these cars. It's just you, the machine, and the track. It's exhilarating and exhausting all at once.
Jody Fannin in 9th is now just 0.2 seconds behind Josh Mitchell, setting a rapid 1:35.064 last lap as he hunts down 8th position. Jody Fannin maintains 9th position, still pressing hard on Josh Mitchell, the gap holding at 0.2 seconds. Jody Fannin has made the move. He's up into 8th, passing Josh Mitchell by the narrowest of margins. Chris Stokes in 11th is battling hard, just 0.2 seconds off Dominic Fovart in 10th. This is a fight for the top 10.
He's put in some quick laps, that 1:36.147 is impressive. He's got the pace, now he needs to find a way past Fovart.
Chris Stokes has gained a place, now into 10th. Dominic Fovart has dropped back 3 places, and the gap between them has opened up. Josh Mitchell is now in 16th, looking to close down Daniel Kosic, only 0.2 seconds ahead. Josh Mitchell is still in 16th, the gap to Daniel Kosic in 15th has stretched out slightly to 0.4 seconds.
He needs to find that extra bit of pace now. If he lets Kosic get too far ahead, it becomes a much harder battle.
Jimmy Lindo in 19th is right on the tail of Maximilian Turbin, just 0.2 seconds between them. Jimmy Lindo has moved up to 18th, but Maximilian Turbin has also gained a spot, now in 17th, with the gap between them growing to 0.4 seconds. Jimmy Lindo has dropped back to 19th, losing the position he gained. Maximilian Turbin has pulled further away in 17th. A big tumble down the order for John Astrup, who was flying earlier, now in 19th and just 0.2 seconds behind Nigel Walters. John Astrup is still in 19th, but he's closed the gap to Nigel Walters right up. It's nose to tail for 18th.
He really wants that position. That's the kind of determination you see from a pro driver, even when they're further back.
John Astrup makes the move. He's up into 18th, displacing Nigel Walters.
Great dive. He made that stick. After dropping so far back, that's an important step in his recovery drive.
Jimmy Lindo is in 19th, just 0.2 seconds off Neil Constable-Barry. Another tight battle shaping up for 18th. Jimmy Lindo has moved past Neil Constable-Barry, now in 18th, with a 0.7 second advantage. Chris Stokes is now in 9th, and once again, he's just 0.2 seconds behind Dominic Fovart in 8th.
He really has that car hooked up, putting in a best lap of 1:33.076. He's got the pace to make a move here.
Chris Stokes has done it. He's through into 8th, taking the position from Dominic Fovarg in an incredibly tight pass.
That's a clean overtake. He saw the opportunity and committed. That's the racing instinct in action.
James Allen is in 10th, and he's right on the tail of Dominic Fovarg in 9th, with only 0.2 seconds between them. James Allen remains in 10th, the gap to Dominic Fovarg in 9th has grown slightly to 0.3 seconds.
He needs to maintain this pressure. Fovarg will be defending hard, but one small error could open the door.
Neil Constable Barry is down in 20th, with Maximilian Turbin 0.3 seconds ahead in 19th.
He's had a tough run lately, losing a few places. Needs to find some clear air and a consistent rhythm.
Neil Constable Barry is still in 20th, but the gap to Maximilian Turbin has increased to 0.7 seconds. Jody Fannin is now in 6th place, absolutely hounding David Constable Barry, with just a tenth of a second separating them.
That's an incredible lap time, 1:32.673. He's found some serious pace and is pushing for a spot in the top 5.
Jody Fannin has made the overtake into the top 5, now in 5th place, ahead of David Constable Barry. Jody Fannin is having an absolutely brilliant race, isn't he? From 9th to 5th, that's some serious commitment.
He really is. You can see the focus when a driver finds that rhythm and starts picking off cars. It's a fantastic feeling when you're in that zone.
And we're seeing these battles for position unfold lap after lap, even further back in the field.
That's Vallelunga for you. It's a circuit that demands precision, but also offers a few good overtaking spots if you're brave enough. You have to size up your opponent and commit.
The consistency of these lap times, despite the close racing, is also impressive.
Absolutely. Maintaining that level of performance while under pressure, lap after lap, is incredibly demanding physically and mentally. Especially in these classic cars without modern aids.
It's interesting to note that even after a drop, drivers like Astrup can start fighting their way back up.
That's the never give up attitude. You might have a bad moment, but you reset, focus on the next corner, and start clawing back. Every position gained feels like a victory.
With the time remaining, do you think we'll see many more position changes at the sharp end?
Definitely. Fatigue can start to set in, and the smallest error can open a door. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more late race moves, especially as drivers push for that extra lap.
James Allen is now in 9th, and he's breathing down the neck of Josh Daw, just 0.1 seconds the difference.
That's an excellent lap time from Allen. He's found some real pace and is clearly eyeing that 8th position.
James Allen has made the pass. He's up into 8th, taking the spot from Josh Daw by literally nothing. What a phenomenal move from James Allen there. That was textbook close quarters racing.
It absolutely was. To make that pass stick with such a tiny margin shows real precision and nerve. That's a rewarding overtake as a driver.
We're seeing a lot of these last gasp moves as drivers push right to the limit.
With the race heading into its final stages, every driver knows they have to seize any opportunity. You can't afford to hesitate now, even for a split second.
The classic OSRW series always delivers, but this race has been particularly exciting with the sheer number of Cortinas at the front.
It just proves that raw driving talent still matters most. When the cars are so similar, it's about who can extract that little bit extra from themselves and the machine.
We're also seeing the importance of consistent lap times. Those who can maintain their pace are slowly but surely moving up.
Exactly. It's not always about one huge overtake. Sometimes it's about holding your nerve, pushing consistently, and waiting for the car ahead to make a small mistake. Patience is a virtue, but not too much patience.
The wind conditions earlier were mentioned. Do you think that's still playing a role?
Oh, for sure. Even if it's settled a bit, those gusts can be unsettling, especially on corner entry and high-speed sections. It's an invisible challenge adding to the pressure.
It's all building to a fantastic conclusion, isn't it?
It really is. The tension is palpable. Every driver on track will be pushing for that final advantage. You're never truly safe until you cross the line.
Daniel Kosic in 14th is in the curve 1, just 0.2 seconds behind Josh Mitchell. He's pushing hard for 13th.
That's a very fast section of track, demanding a lot of commitment. He'll be trying to carry that momentum to make a move.
Daniel Kocic remains in 14th, still 0.2 seconds behind Josh Mitchell. No change yet in this tight battle. Tim Weller in 11th is right on Dominic Fovart's gearbox, just a tenth of a second for 10th place.
He's set his best lap time, 1:32.794. He's found some incredible speed and is ready to strike for a spot in the top 10.
Joel Lemrick is heading for victory. He's in the lead with just 20 seconds to the checkered flag.
Mac McFarquhar is closing, but 0.9 seconds in 20 seconds is a tough ask. Lemrick just needs to keep it clean now.
Joel Lemrick crosses the line. A magnificent drive from 5th position to take the win here at Vallelunga.
What a fantastic performance. He kept his cool, managed the pace, and delivered a textbook race to claim that victory. Absolutely deserved.
Mac McFarquhar finishes in 2nd place. What an astonishing drive, coming all the way from 17th on the grid.
From 17th to 2nd, that's the drive of the day right there. He absolutely charged through the field, never gave up. Phenomenal effort.
And Rich Snape crosses the line to complete the podium in 3rd. Another incredible climb from 16th.
He's battled hard all race, and it's paid off with a fantastic 3rd place finish. A well-earned podium for Snape.
Jody Fannin takes 4th, David Constable Barry finishes 5th, Chris Stokes in 6th, and Jamie Price crosses the line in a strong 7th position. James Allen secures 8th, Josh Daw takes 9th, Dominic Fovard finishes in 10th, and Tim Weller crosses the line in 11th.
Every single one of those drivers fought tooth and nail for those positions throughout the race. Brilliant racing.
Jareth Hallam finishes 12th, Josh Mitchell takes 13th, Daniel Kocic 14th, and Jimmy Lindo completes his race in 15th.
Even down the order, those drivers showed real commitment and fought hard until the very end. No quarter given out there.
Martin Mull comes home in 16th, Nigel Walters in 17th, Maximilian Turbin takes 18th, and Neil Constable Barry rounds out the field in 19th. Adam Tias finishes in 20th, John Astrup 21st, Greg Sabo in 22nd, and John Boontakis takes 23rd position. Nico Vaughn crosses the line in 24th, and Phil Bodkin completes the race in 25th.
Every single driver completed the race, which is a testament to their skill and the reliability of these classic machines. A great effort from everyone today.
Practice session ticking down now, just 8 minutes and 33 seconds left on the clock.
Walters hasn't put in a lap yet. Sometimes you're just waiting for the track to rubber in or trying a different setup strategy.
Less than 7 minutes now in practice, 6 minutes 12 seconds to be precise.
Lindo still hasn't posted a time. It's a bold strategy if he's waiting this long. Often I'd be out there getting a feel. Mitchell still waiting to set a time. He's just cruising for Chimini now, probably feeling out the grip.
Lindo through Torrentino now, still no time lap from him. Walters following Lindo through Torrentino, both still without a registered time.
Alan and Trincia, and he's another one who hasn't put in a lap. 4 minutes remaining. Time is really running out for these drivers.
Mitchell hasn't got a time on the board either. 3.5 minutes left.
Tias, now in Roma, is another driver we're waiting on. This is cutting it very fine to get a meaningful lap in.
David Constable Barry also without a time, the clock showing just 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining.
This is crunch time for Constable Barry. When I was racing, I liked to get a banker lap in much earlier, even if it wasn't perfect.
Martin Mole and Trincia, still no time on the board from him with less than 2 minutes to go.
He'll need to hurry, a quick out lap and then maybe just one flying lap if he's lucky. Not ideal preparation for the weekend.
Turbin and Tornantino, the list of drivers without a time grows longer as the clock counts down rapidly. Walters finally on the board, and straight to P1 with a 131.725 in Curve 1. Just 51 seconds left. Constable Barry still without a time as he goes through the SE section. Only 19 seconds left.
He's really leaving it to the last second. He'll be hoping for a clean run, but it's a huge gamble not to have a lap on the board yet.
Turbin also yet to register a lap time with only 12 seconds remaining.
Stokes still without a time, now in Curve 1. He'll have to be absolutely pushing for whatever lap he can get in these final moments.
Jody Fannin pops up to third, a 132.193 for him, with just 54 seconds left.
Good to see Fannin get a proper run in. That's a decent time this late in the session, at least he has something to work with.
Tim Weller, still no time on the board. He's in the Semaforo section, 1 minute 27 seconds left.
He needs to pick up the pace, that's almost 2 minutes gone and he's not even registered a lap yet.
Welcome to Vallelunga for the classic OSRW qualifying. The green flag is about to drop, with a noticeable 11 miles per hour wind out there today. David Constable Barry is through curve 1 now, still to set a time, with just under 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in this session. And Neil Constable Barry is also yet to log a time on the board, with the clock now showing just 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
That's not a lot of time to find a clear space on track and really push for a representative lap. You need to get on with it now.
Nico Vaughn also hasn't posted a lap time yet. The clock is ticking down to just 3 minutes and 48 seconds left.
You really feel that pressure mounting in qualifying, knowing every second counts to get a clean run and avoid traffic. It's a mental game.
Jody Fannin, another driver yet to post a time. We're now under 3 minutes and 20 seconds for qualifying.
It's a very fine line between building temperature in the tires and then pushing for the lap. You don't want to waste the rubber if you don't get a good run.
Jody Fannin has completed their first lap, but that hasn't registered a competitive time, placing them down in P25 with just a minute and 45 seconds left. Adam Tiaz is on a flyer. He's already P4 with a 1:32.984, and currently running 200ths up on that time with just 93 seconds remaining. Daniel Kochish is still to set a time, and the clock is truly against him now, with only a minute and 22 seconds left.
You're really pushing the limits at this point, trying to find clean air and hoping the tires are still giving you what you need for one last quick lap.
James Allen is absolutely flying. He's P1 with a 1:32.078 and currently over a tenth up on that time, with just a minute and 8 seconds left in qualifying. Maximilian Turbin is on an incredible run, currently P12 with a 1:33.861, but he's almost 7 tenths up on that time with less than a minute remaining.
Finding that much time on a qualifying lap, especially this late, means he's either finally put a sector together perfectly or found some clear track. It's a fantastic effort.
David Constable Barry still hasn't posted a time, just 39 seconds now on the clock for his final shot at qualifying. And what a lap from David Constable Barry. Out of nowhere, he logs a 1:32.277, jumping right up to P3 with just 10 seconds left. The clock has hit 0, but Maximilian Turbin is still on a scorching lap. He's P14, 9 tenths up on his previous best.
This is it, one final push. You can hear the engine screaming as everyone tries to extract every last bit of pace for that final sector. It's all or nothing.
Mac McFarquhar is also flying, P6 with a 1:32.275, and he's a quarter of a second up on that time with 16 seconds on the clock.
This is the moment you have to deliver. No mistakes, just pure commitment through every corner, knowing this could be your final chance.
Jareth Hallam is P14 with a 1:33.160, but he's currently over a tenth down on that time, with only 34 seconds remaining.
Sometimes you just can't find that extra bit. The tires might be past their peak or you just didn't get the perfect run into a key corner. It's frustrating when it happens.
Dominic Fovarg is still out there, in the Roma section, yet to set a time, and with only 51 seconds remaining, this is his last chance.
This is where the nerves really hit. You're pushing hard, but trying not to make a mistake knowing that one error means you've missed your shot at a qualifying time.
Jody Fannin is on a charge. He's P3 with a 1:32.046, and currently running over 2 tenths quicker as he navigates the Roma section, with just over a minute left on the clock.
Finding that kind of pace in the Roma section shows real confidence. You're right on the edge there, pushing the car to its absolute limits, trying to keep it together for a faster lap.
John Astrup is currently P10 with a 1:32.495, but he's 4 tenths down on that time now with only a minute and 29 seconds left. The atmosphere is electric here at Vallelunga for the classic OSRW, as we await the start of what promises to be an incredible race.
A light breeze at 2 can feel like a gale when you are on the limit through the S's, always a factor in these older machines.
And looking at the grid, James Allen from the UK, in his striking TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, is poised in a fantastic third position, ready to challenge in the Pro-Am class.
The Cortina MKI is a fantastic car, very balanced, but you have to really lean on it through the corners to extract the lap time. P3 is a great starting spot for him.
Just 2 rows back, in 5th, we have Chris Stokes, another Englishman in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, but in the pro class, so he will be pushing hard from the off.
Stokes is a known quantity, very aggressive. It will be interesting to see if he can make that MKI work for him in the opening laps and gain some places.
And right behind Stokes, in 6th, we find Martin Mol from the Netherlands, also in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI and a pro class driver, completing a strong trio of Cortinas near the front. Further back on the grid, David Constable Barry from England starts in 8th, piloting yet another TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, running in the Pro-Am class.
Lindo in P9 in another Cortina, he will be looking to get off the line quickly. These cars, in a pack, make for some incredible racing in the midfield.
Rounding out the top 10, John Astrup from New Zealand, also in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, a pro-class driver, so plenty of competition among these classic machines.
10 cars and 6 of them are Cortinas. It is going to be a battle of car control and setup. Getting the power down out of the slow corners is critical at Vallelunga.
Just outside the top 10, in 11th, we have Tim Weller from the UK, piloting a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, running in the AM class.
He is going to have to be on his game from the lights. Starting amongst the pros and pro-ams, the AM class drivers really have to dig deep.
Maximilian Turbin, another English driver, also in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, starts from position 13, also in the AM class.
T is in P14, another Cortina. That is a lot of identical machinery. It will come down to who has the best setup and who is bravest on the brakes.
Dominic Fovard from the UK in position 15, a Pro-Am driver in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, so plenty of potential for him to move up through the field. And Jareth Hallam, another Brit in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, starts from 16th, also in the Pro-Am class, looking to make progress.
He is going to be in the thick of it from the very first corner. With so many Cortinas, the early stages will be about survival and picking your passes carefully.
Joel Lemerick from the Netherlands, in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, starts from 18th, competing in the AM class.
Lemerick, starting P18, will really need to focus on a clean start. Getting caught up in the mid-pack skirmishes can ruin your race before it even properly begins.
The lights are out and we are green. A phenomenal start, all cars away cleanly down into the first corner at Vallelunga.
Everyone holding their breath through turn 1, but they have done well. Getting a clean run into those first few corners is absolutely crucial, especially in these classic cars.
On this opening lap, Jimmy Lindo has dropped a couple of places, now running in 11th after starting in 9th.
He might have been a bit too cautious, or perhaps just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. It is easy to lose ground in that initial scramble if you do not commit fully.
Lindo has lost 2 spots already, a tough start for the driver who was looking to make an impression from 9th on the grid. On the other side of the coin, John Boontakis has made a brilliant start, moving up 3 places from 17th to now run in 14th.
That is a fantastic effort from Boontakis. Gaining 3 places on the first lap is usually a combination of good car placement and bravery on the brakes.
And we are now focusing on Nico Vaughn in 22nd, with Neil Constable Barry just ahead in 21st, a very tight gap of just 2/10 between them.
Vaughn has made the pass. Now up to 21st, Neil Constable Barry just behind him, a 0.0 second gap. They are absolutely glued together.
We are with Chris Stokes in 5th, in the Cimini section, absolutely hounding Rich Snape for 4th position, just 1/10 of a second separating them on this opening lap. Stokes has lost a position. He is now down to 6th, Snape has pulled out a 2/10 gap and consolidated that 5th place.
Martin Mole is right on the bumper of Chris Stokes now in the Semaphoro section, just 1/10 of a second separating these two as they fight for 6th place.
That gap has just opened up slightly, Mole now trailing Stokes by 4/10 as they continue their battle. Tim Weller is pushing hard through the S's, trying to close down on Josh Mitchell, just 2/10 of a second the difference for 18th place.
Weller has made up a spot, now in 18th, but Mitchell has gained a little breathing room, 3/10 ahead in 17th.
David Constable Barry is absolutely flying on lap 2, posting a 1:33.800, and is right on the tail of Mac McFarquhar for 7th, just 1/10 of a second separating them. Constable Barry has done it. He is now in 7th position, just edging out McFarquhar, who is now behind him, with literally no gap between them. And McFarquhar has immediately taken that position back. Constable Barry is now in 8th, nose to tail with McFarquhar in 7th.
That is classic Vallelunga. You make a pass, but if you do not consolidate it perfectly through the next corner, they can come right back at you, especially with such a small gap.
Phil Bodkin is currently running in 23rd on lap 2, just 3/10 behind Neil Constable Barry in 22nd, having just posted a 1:34.712. The gap has just opened up slightly between Bodkin and Constable Barry, now half a second separating them for 22nd.
It is so tough when you are chasing, sometimes you push too hard and lose a bit of rhythm. That half second can feel like a lifetime.
Martin Mole, now down in 18th, but he has put some clear air between himself and Nico Vaughn, a 1.9 second gap to 19th, and a very strong 1:32.753 as his best lap.
Mole is clearly still finding pace, that 1:32.753 is quick. If he can maintain that, he will be looking to make up some of those lost positions. Sometimes it is better to have a clear track and focus on your rhythm.
Mac McFarquhar is right on the back of David Constable Barry for 6th place, just 1/10 of a second in it on lap 3, a blistering 1:33.061 for McFarquhar as his best.
This is where precision really pays off. When you are this close, every single input, every brake point, every bit of throttle application, has to be absolutely perfect to make that pass stick.
John Boontakis is making strong progress, now in 11th and closing on Jareth Hallam for 10th, a mere 3/10 separating them on lap 3, with Boontakis setting his personal best of 1:32.767.
Boontakis has closed right up to Hallam, now just 1/10 of a second for that 10th position. He is absolutely on his gearbox.
Tim Weller is on a charge, P16, chasing Joel Lemrick for 15th, a brilliant 1:32.448 is his best lap, and the gap is just 2/10 of a second. The gap has stretched ever so slightly to 3/10 of a second, Lemrick just managing to hold off Weller for now.
He is pushing, but it is so easy to overcook it when you are trying to make up ground. Lemrick is driving defensively and keeping that tiny bit of distance.
Martin Mole in 18th is suddenly under pressure from Nico Vaughn. That comfortable gap has evaporated, now just 2/10 separating them. Mole has gained a position, now up to 17th, and the gap to Nico Vaughn has opened up to half a second in 19th.
He has found some clear air and used it to his advantage. Sometimes, a tiny bit of space is all you need to find your rhythm and claw back time.
Tim Weller continues his fight, now in 16th, pushing hard to close down Josh Mitchell for 15th. The gap is 4/10 of a second on lap 4. Weller has just shaved another 10th off that gap, now only 3/10 separate him from Mitchell for 15th.
He is relentlessly chipping away at that lead. This is a game of patience and consistent lap times, and Weller is delivering.
Mac McFarquhar is absolutely flying on lap 5, a 1:32.483, closing that gap to David Constable Barry to just 4/10 as he chases down 6th position.
Constable Barry is doing a good job of defending, maintaining that 4/10 gap over McFarquhar, who just can't quite get close enough to make a move.
Tim Weller, in 16th, is still hot on the heels of Josh Mitchell through Cimini, just 2/10 separating them for 15th position. Weller has done it. He has made the move past Mitchell for 15th position, now in front, and there is absolutely nothing between them.
That was a perfectly executed pass. When you were that close, you have to seize the opportunity and make it stick, and he did.
Mac McFarquhar is again closing in on David Constable Barry for 6th, the gap now down to just 2/10 of a second. The gap has just opened up slightly between McFarquhar and Constable Barry, now 3/10 as Constable Barry tries to break away. What a race we are witnessing here at Vallelunga. These classic Cortinas are providing some incredibly close action throughout the field.
It is so demanding in these cars. You are constantly on the limit, and any tiny mistake just invites a challenge. I remember races like this, it is relentless.
The way these drivers are able to maintain such tight gaps lap after lap is truly a testament to their skill.
Absolutely. Every corner is a potential overtaking spot or a chance to defend. The mental fatigue can be as tough as the physical in a long race.
We have seen so many positions swap back and forth, especially in that mid-pack battle.
It shows the depth of talent here. No one is giving an inch, and that is exactly what you want to see as a spectator.
We are now focusing on the front of the pack, as Jody Fannin in second is just 3/10 behind Nigel Walters, absolutely pushing for the lead on lap 6, with a best lap of 1:31.883.
This is where the pressure is immense for Walters. Having someone that close for that many laps, knowing they have that kind of pace, really tests your concentration and nerve. Every tiny error could be costly.
Josh Mitchell, now running in 16th, is trying to close down the 1.6 second gap to Josh Daw for 15th, posting a 1:34.195 through the Semaphore section. That gap has stretched out to 2.2 seconds between Mitchell and Daw, making it a bit tougher for Mitchell to catch up now.
He might have had a moment or just lost a bit of rhythm. Sometimes pushing too hard to bridge a gap can actually make you lose more time in the long run.
John Astrup is now in 16th, but Josh Mitchell is right on his rear bumper in 17th, 0.0 seconds between them as they battle wheel to wheel.
This is absolutely exhilarating. Holding off a rival when they are that close is one of the hardest things in racing. Astrup will be driving purely on instinct right now.
Josh Mitchell, now in 17th on lap 7, has a 3/10 gap to make up on John Astrup for 16th, but that 1:37.017 last lap suggests he is struggling to find the consistent pace.
That gap has stretched out to half a second now, Astrup just finding a little bit of clear air and pulling away from Mitchell.
The intensity of this race is just incredible, especially when you look at how tight it is from top to bottom.
It is a constant mental game out there. Every time you think you have a gap, they are right back on you. That is the nature of these classic grids.
We have seen some drivers really struggle to maintain position, while others are making steady gains throughout.
Finding that consistency lap after lap is paramount. One small slip, one missed apex, and suddenly you are on the defensive, or worse, losing places.
And with so many of these Lotus Cortinas, it truly comes down to the driver and their setup today.
Exactly. It becomes a chess match, anticipating moves, protecting your line. It is high-stakes racing.
John Astrup is absolutely glued to the back of Josh Daw for 15th position on lap 7, just a tenth of a second separating these two.
This is the kind of pressure that forces errors. Astrup has closed right up. Now it is about finding the right moment to make the move, or for Daw, holding the perfect line.
A significant change here. John Astrup has dropped a position to 17th, and the gap to Josh Daw in 15th has now stretched to a full 1.1 seconds.
He must have had a moment there. When you are pushing that hard, right on the limit, it is easy to make a small mistake that costs you dearly in lap time. That's a tough break for Astrup.
Nigel Walters is just 20 seconds from the checkered flag, still holding onto that lead, but Jody Fannin is absolutely glued to his gearbox, just 3/10 behind.
This is it, the final push. Every single meter counts now. Leading by such a small margin in the closing moments is incredibly intense. You can feel every bump and ripple on the track.
Nigel Walters crosses the line. What a drive! From pole position to victory, an absolutely dominant performance. Jody Fannin comes across the line in a strong second place, a fantastic race from him, holding his starting position all the way. James Allen secures third position, a brilliant drive for the Pro-Am class driver, holding onto his starting grid position.
To hold your starting position when you are right at the front, especially in the Pro-Am class, shows incredible consistency and racecraft. A superb podium finish.
And completing the top 7, we have Rich Snape in 4th, Chris Stokes in 5th, David Constable Barry in 6th, and Mac McFarquhar crossing the line in 7th. Further down the field, Daniel Kochish finishes 8th, Maximilian Turbin in 9th, Jareth Hallam in 10th, and John Boontakis rounds out the top 11. Dominic Fovard finishes 12th, Tim Weller in 13th, Joel Lemrick crosses the line in 14th, and Josh Daw completes the top 15. Adam Tias comes home in 16th, John Astrup in 17th, Nico Vaughn in 18th, and Neil Constable Barry takes 19th.
These midfield battles were relentless throughout the race. Every one of these drivers had to fight incredibly hard for those finishing positions.
Josh Mitchell secures 20th, Jamie Price 21st, Phil Bodkin in 22nd, and Greg Sabo crosses the line in 23rd. Martin Moll completes the race in 24th position after a challenging outing. And we are moments away from the green flag here at the classic OSRW at Vallelunga. The tension is palpable.
That 4 miles per hour wind might not sound like much, but at these speeds and through those quick turns, it's enough to feel on the car, especially on old rubber.
Phil Bodkin, flying the flag for England in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, starts from an excellent third position on the grid as an M-Class driver. Right behind him, in 4th, is Jamie Price, also in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI, looking strong in the Pro-Am class.
These Cortinas are fantastic machines, very forgiving but demanding at the limit. It's all about how you manage that weight transfer through the corners.
And then we have local hero Josh Mitchell in another Cortina, starting from 5th and representing the AM class.
3 Cortinas in a row. This is going to be a fascinating battle within the class, especially with the home crowd behind Mitchell.
Completing this quartet of Cortinas in the top 6 is Nico Vaughn, starting from 6th, an M-Class driver as well. Breaking up the Cortina train slightly, in 7th, we have John Astrup from New Zealand, a Pro-Class driver, also in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. Adam Tias, another M-Class driver from England, lines up in 8th position, making it 6 Cortinas in the top 8.
This concentration of Cortinas means there's going to be a lot of jostling in the early laps. Getting clean air and managing those opening corners will be crucial for all of them.
Rounding out our top 10, in 10th position, is Josh Daw, an M-Class driver, also piloting a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. Just outside the top 10, in 11th, we find Joel Lemerick from the Netherlands, yet another M-Class driver in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. And in 12th, Tim Weller from the United Kingdom, another M-Class driver, yet again in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
It's clear the Cortina is the car to have here today. The setup for these cars is so important for Vallelunga's mix of fast straights and technical sections.
Dominic Fovard from the United Kingdom, a Pro-Am class driver, starts from 13th in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. 14th on the grid is John Boontakis from Greece, an M-Class driver, also in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. Jareth Hallam from the United Kingdom, a Pro-Am class driver, starts from 15th in his TCL Lotus Cortina MKI.
Even from P15, in a car like this, you can make up a lot of ground quickly if you're aggressive and pick your spots. The first few corners will be key.
Daniel Kosic from Hungary, a Pro-Am class driver, lines up in 17th position, driving a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. Mac McFarquhar from the United Kingdom, a Pro class driver, is in 18th, also in a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. And David Constable Barry from England, a Pro-Am class driver, is in 19th, driving a TCL Lotus Cortina MKI. The lights are out and we are underway here at Vallelunga. What a start! Martin Mull holds his lead from pole, looking composed through the first sector. Martin Mull has done brilliantly to maintain his P1 slot through the opening corners, exactly what you want from pole position.
Holding that lead from pole is never easy. It means they've nailed the launch and protected the inside line, not giving anyone an inch.
What a start for Daniel Kosic, up 9 places already, from 17th to 8th. Nico Vaughn has made a good move up 1 spot, now into 6th position. Nico Vaughn has gained a place, moving up to 6th, showing good early pace.
Gaining a position on the first lap is always positive, especially in the mid-pack. It means they're finding the gaps and being decisive.
Absolutely incredible start for John Astrup. From 7th on the grid, he's rocketed up 4 places and is now in 3rd, just 0.2 seconds behind Greg Sabo.
That's an aggressive but clean opening. Getting past 4 cars in these conditions takes guts and precision. He's clearly found a rhythm early and is applying pressure to Sabo.
We switch focus to John Boontakis, currently in 21st position on lap 1, but he's locked in a wheel-to-wheel battle, just 0.1 seconds behind Jamie Price for 20th.
That's incredibly tight, especially on the first lap. Being that close means neither driver can afford a single mistake. The pressure is immense trying to make a move early on.
And Boontakis has made the move. He's through on Jamie Price and now into 19th position, pulling out a 0.5 second gap.
That was a well-executed pass. Getting that half-second gap immediately after making the move is key to breaking the toe and consolidating the position. Brilliant driving.
Now we're with Nico Vaughn, holding 7th place on lap 1, with Jareth Hallam right on his tail, just 0.4 seconds adrift. Oh, a massive change there. Vaughn has lost a place, now in 8th. Jareth Hallam has squeezed through, and they are side by side, 0.0 seconds between them. We're now riding with David Constable Barry, currently in 16th, chasing Rich Snape, who is just a tenth of a second ahead for 15th.
That's practically bumper to bumper. In these cars, that small a gap means you're fighting for the same piece of tarmac. A late break or a slightly different line could make all the difference.
Constable Barry is still pushing, but Snape has managed to eke out a tiny bit more space, now 0.2 seconds ahead in 15th. Now to Josh Dahl on lap 2, currently in 20th, but he's closing in on Jamie Price, just 0.2 seconds separating them for 19th.
Daw's last lap time of 1:37.680 is a strong indicator of pace. If he can maintain that, he'll be challenging Price for that position very soon.
Daw has done it. He's through on Jamie Price and into 19th position. They're side by side, practically touching.
That was an absolutely clinical move. Being that close on exit means Price will be looking to get the position back immediately. This isn't over yet.
David Constable Barry continues to chase Rich Snape, 0.3 seconds is the gap as they fight for 15th on lap 2. Snape is managing to pull away ever so slightly, the gap to Constable Barry now at 0.4 seconds.
Even a tenth of a second can feel like an eternity when you're trying to make a pass. Constable Barry needs to find something extra in the next sector.
Josh Daw is through the Roma section, holding 20th position on lap 2, with Tim Weller just 0.3 seconds behind him, maintaining the pressure. Daw has managed to extend that gap to Weller a fraction, now 0.4 seconds separating them as they continue this battle. Now with Adam Tias, he's in 13th on lap 3, and he's right on the gearbox of Nico Vaughn, just 0.3 seconds behind for 12th. The gap between Tias and Vaughn remains at 0.3 seconds. Tias is still hunting down that 12th position.
This kind of sustained pressure can really make a driver crack. Tias needs to maintain this and look for the smallest opening.
David Constable Barry is through Semaforo, still holding 16th, and he's closed right back up to Rich Snape, just 0.2 seconds separate them for 15th. Snape has responded. He's just nudged the gap back out to 0.3 seconds over Constable Barry.
This is a classic cat and mouse game. Constable Barry got close, Snape reacted. Now it's about whether Constable Barry can find an even deeper breaking point or a different line next time around.
Now with Tim Weller, he's in 20th, but he's absolutely glued to Josh Daw's rear bumper. 0.0 seconds between them for 19th. Weller is still pushing hard, but Daw has just managed to get a tiny sliver of breathing room, now a tenth of a second ahead. Huge change there. Tim Weller has dropped a position, now in 21st. Josh Daw is now 0.2 seconds ahead in 19th. Tim Weller is now in 20th on lap 4, chasing Joel Lemrick, who is 0.2 seconds ahead for 19th.
That last lap time was a bit slower for Weller. He'll need to pick up the pace if he wants to make that move on Lemrick's stick.
Weller is still holding that 0.2 second gap to Lemrick. It's a stalemate for now in this battle for 19th. We've seen some absolutely frantic racing so far, particularly in the mid-pack. These classic machines really lend themselves to close quarters action.
They certainly do. These Cortinas, they're not modern aero monsters, so you can really get alongside and fight. It's proper wheel-to-wheel stuff, which is always exciting.
It's fascinating to see so many of the same car make for such varied performance on track, from the front runners to those battling further back.
It comes down to setup and driver input. Even with identical cars, how you tune the suspension, manage the tires, and exploit every ounce of grip through a corner makes all the difference. I remember spending hours getting the balance just right.
And with just a few minutes left, plus that extra lap, every decision becomes even more critical.
Absolutely. Now it's about holding nerve, not making any mistakes, and capitalizing on anyone else's tiny slip. The pressure is really on.
Tim Weller, in 20th, is now just a tenth of a second behind Joel Lemrick for 19th as they start lap 5. The gap between Weller and Lemrick remains razor thin, still just 0.1 seconds.
This is where patience and precise driving really pay off. One small error from Lemrick and Weller will be through.
Jody Fannin is in 9th, pushing hard on lap 5, with James Allen 0.4 seconds ahead in 8th position.
Fannin's best lap time is quicker than his last, so he clearly has the pace. He just needs to close that gap and make a move.
Fannin continues to hound Allen, the 0.4 second gap holding steady as they navigate the circuit. James Allen, in 8th, is now setting his sights forward, just 0.2 seconds behind Jareth Hallam for 7th. Allen has made the move. James Allen is through on Jareth Hallam and now into 7th. They are absolutely neck and neck.
What a bold move from Allen. Getting it done and then having zero margin, that's trusting your car and your own ability right to the very edge.
Jody Fannin has inherited 8th position and is now chasing James Allen, 0.2 seconds ahead, for 7th on lap 6. Allen has managed to open a bit of breathing room over Fannin, the gap now 0.4 seconds. Mac McFarquhar has absolutely flown up the order. He's now in 3rd position on lap 6, just 0.4 seconds behind John Astrup for 2nd.
From 18th on the grid to 3rd, that is an absolutely phenomenal charge. McFarquhar is on a mission and clearly has incredible pace.
McFarquhar is closing in on Astrup. The gap for 2nd is down to just 0.2 seconds. John Astrup is in 2nd position on lap 7, but Mac McFarquhar is right there, only 0.2 seconds separating them for that P2.
Astrup's last lap was a touch slower than his best, and McFarquhar is clearly finding pace. That 0.2 second gap is effectively nothing. Astrup needs to be perfect here.
And McFarquhar has done it. He's through on Astrup. Mac McFarquhar is now in 2nd position, and they are absolutely side by side.
Astrup has lost that position. When you're that close, 0.0 seconds means the slightest twitch, the slightest hesitation, and the place is gone. What a move from McFarquhar.
Dominic Fovarg is in 11th on lap 7, closing on Chris Stokes, who is just 0.2 seconds ahead for 10th position. Stokes has managed to pull a small gap here, now 0.5 seconds ahead of Fovarg.
Fovarg needs to regroup after that. You can't let a driver get that half-second advantage, it makes it much harder to get back in the slipstream.
Mac McFarquhar is now in 2nd, and he's closing on the race leader Martin Moll. Only 0.2 seconds between them. This is it. McFarquhar is right on Moll's bumper for the lead. The gap is down to just 0.1 seconds. James Allen is in 7th on lap 8, pushing hard to close the 0.2 second gap to Josh Mitchell for 6th. And Allen has done it. He's through on Mitchell and into 6th position. They are absolutely wheel to wheel.
Another fantastic move. Allen is making up ground in these closing stages. To get the pass done and then have that 0.0 second gap, he's going to have to defend hard from Mitchell now.
Jamie Price is in 20th on lap 8, closing the 0.2 second gap to Joel Lemrick for 19th. Lemrick has just managed to extend that lead slightly, now 0.3 seconds ahead of Price. Unbelievable, Mac McFarquhar is now in the lead. From 18th on the grid, he's just 20 seconds from the checkered flag, with John Astrup 0.3 seconds behind.
What a drive, absolutely sensational. To come from that far back and snatch the lead in the dying moments, it takes incredible focus and raw pace.
And Mac McFarquhar crosses the line. A sensational victory, winning from an incredible 18th position on the grid. John Astrup brings it home in second place, a fantastic recovery drive from his starting position of 8th. Martin Mull holds on to finish third, a strong podium finish after leading much of the race from pole. And crossing the line to complete the top 7, we have Greg Sabo in 4th, Daniel Koshich with an incredible 5th, James Allen in 6th, and Jody Fannin securing 7th.
Those are all hard-fought positions, especially Koshich's climb from 17th. Every one of those drivers put in a superb effort today.
Rounding out the top 11, Josh Mitchell finishes 8th, Jareth Hallam takes 9th, Chris Stokes secures 10th, and Dominic Fovard finishes in 11th. And we continue to see them stream across the line. Nigel Walters in 12th, Adam Tias in 13th, John Buntakis in 14th, and Nico Vaughn taking 15th.
These positions are often decided by fractions of a second. Every driver pushing right to the end, it's what classic racing is all about.
Further back we see Phil Bodkin finish 16th, Josh Daw 17th, Tim Weller 18th, and Jamie Price in 19th position. And crossing the line, Joel Lemrick takes 20th, Rich Snape 21st, Neil Constable Barry 22nd, and David Constable Barry finishes in 23rd position.
Every single driver who finishes these races deserves a huge amount of credit. It's tough on these classic machines, pushing them to their limits for the duration.